What's up, y'all? I got some good news for you today. We have David in the house. David just landed a 90K fully remote role in just 27 days. And he's here to talk to us about his experience in the sword program. David, welcome, man. First question I have for you, brother, is can you tell us a little bit about life before joining the sword program? What was the job search like? What was your personal life like?
So I'll start with the job search. I think before joining Sword, I'd been applying for about a month and a half, something like that. I had two interviews, but they didn't get an offer, and then a lot of like applying and getting no response and stuff like that. Uh, so definitely, very frustrating. Regarding personal life, I think the job search had like made my personal life more frustrating. So that's that regarding my personal life.
Yeah, they're definitely connected, man. Like when you don't feel like you're making progress on the work front, it totally affects personal life and like just
hmm
self-confidence and all that. But when I met you, I was like, man, this guy's like a diamond. We just got to work on a few things. So tell me about life now. Like after being in the sword program, what's life like now?
it's been great. I think kind of what the sword program teaches you, kind of like discipline, holding yourself accountable. At first, it's kind of hard, but like working hard and, doing stuff you don't want to do all the time, in the long run, it feels good. And then it's, good for yourself. And then you feel better, with your personal life, with your friends and family and stuff like that.
100%. And what would you say is the biggest result that we achieved together?
I think the job offer, and then it's kind of going into the new company, it's kind of a fresh perspective on how you're going to attack it. I feel like if I do the same things that kind of you taught me and then have the same process, I think success will follow.
Mm-hmm. That's a big part of this. It's setting you up for success in the role because of the discipline and the consistency and the uncomfortability. Welcome to the SDR
Yeah,
life,
yeah,
man.
it's exactly what an SDR does. So it's a good preview.
Love it. Love it. And everyone's at a different point in their job search journey, right? Some people have been going 6 months. You were a month and a half. What led you to pick working with us here at Sword?
So I had saw a couple things on LinkedIn that you'd posted, and then I joined that, and then you had like the free guide that you throw out there. I'm reading through that, and it's like, oh, that stuff looks good. And then we had the initial screening call, and then I was just kind of able to tell right away, like, hey, this is a guy who's you know, been there, the results are there, and then he's not only, it's not a situation where it's like, here's some stuff, go figure it out, like you're with us every step of the way. So when you combine all those factors, it was kind of a no-brainer for me to sign up.
And with that kind of step by step, hand in hand thing, I feel like we got to enter a coaching relationship, right? Where I
hmm
was able to help you grow on some things and you were able to show up and just impress me. I was so proud of you.
hmm
What would you say is one of the things that sticks out about my coaching style?
I think it kind because I'm a big Patriots fan. It kind of reminds me of Bill Belichick. 'Cause Tom Brady was on a podcast like a month and a half ago, 2 months, something like that. And one of the questions was like before game days, were you guys ever nervous or anything like that? Like before a Super Bowl or something? And he said like, no, it was the exact opposite. Because Coach Belichick like had them so prepared. He felt like they always had the answers to the test. And then like 95% of the time, like they'd go out and play and like the other team would do something. And it's like, oh, we're already prepared. We've already seen that. Um, so that's, I would say, a big advantage.
I've never been compared to Bill Belichick, but this is a great day for me. So thank you, David. What about the other people out there that are still on the job search? What's something you feel like you learned in this process that might help them?
Um, I think a combination of like, don't get frustrated at first, and then you just got to do it. I think, there's no like magic formula or anything like that. If you come up with a good plan, like do the right things, follow through and execute, even if you don't want to. Like there was times where it's like, oh, I've been working all day. I don't want to reach out to these hiring managers, but you do it anyway. So if you do that, I think you'll able to, be able to learn some things and get the results you want.
Yeah, it really is that perseverance because even when you just said that, like, just go do it, a lot of people don't even know what just do it means. And we get so in our heads about, like, well, how do I apply the perfect way? And what do I say here? What do I do here? And it's like, if you're not willing to put in the work of picking up a phone, how are you going to land these interviews and land a job like this? And
Yeah.
David, like, you were just a workhorse, man. You were just consistent at every single day, day in, day out. Hey, did the job. Every day wasn't this big like celebration day because there were some just mundane tasks in there, mundane days,
Mhm.
but the right behaviors compound to get you to the result.
Yeah. And then it doesn't have to be, I mean, I think this too. Like it doesn't have to be perfect, like you
Yeah.
don't need the perfect call script. I was able to get a few interviews with companies I didn't accept to, just getting on the phone and they appreciated that. I think one time one lady was like, yes, like no one ever reaches out on the phone. And an interview was scheduled, but ultimately I declined because I'm going with this company. But, you know, the hiring managers definitely appreciate the effort.
Yeah, yeah, because you when you're on LinkedIn, you see all the advice like cold call hiring managers, and so you assume that there's this big frenzy of like, oh, they're all getting cold
Yeah, like
calls and
like
stuff.
Chum with sharks in the water, but that's not the case from what I've heard.
Yeah, yeah, that one manager you're talking about, I think she said it had been what years since she got a cold call for a
Yeah,
role or
something
something
like
like
that.
that. Yeah, cool, man. What if someone was on the fence about joining us here at the Sword program to help them make this career transition? What would you tell them?
I think it's worth it to join because what I mentioned earlier, you kind of get the answers to the test beforehand. And then there's a lot of things that like you teach us that I wouldn't think about, that I wouldn't have thought to do, like sending the videos before the interviews and stuff like that. That slide presentation we made together, the director, he really liked that. Like when I showed that, his face lit up. I could tell he really appreciated it. So with the program, because Jack's obviously been an SDR manager with a lot of success, you see things through his eyes. So if you do that and then follow his advice, in practice as well, like a lot of the practicing on the question answers that you get good answers to give. So if you do that, you'll, and follow through with your own hard work, like just because Jack gives you stuff, you're still going to have to go out and, you know, try hard and do the stuff. So when you combine those two things, it's definitely worth it, in my opinion.
David, I'm super proud of you, man. I mean, 27 days, 90K fully remote role. You're living a lot of people out there, you're living their dream right now. So,
Yep.
congratulations. I know you're going to crush this thing because I got to work with you for the past few weeks and just your discipline, your focus, your drive to not give up. And boom, you got this incredible result. Super proud of you, man. And thank you for letting me work with you. It's an honor.
No, yeah, and thank you as well. Just all the hard work. It's nice to what you get with the program too. It's like I've never really had like a manager who's like invested in like working with me. You know what I mean? So you get that as well. So I think that was my favorite part is having a manager who's also like invested with my success and working with me.
Which
Um,
means I'm gonna miss working with you because I feel the
yeah,
same
same.
way. But you're gonna go on and do big things, and just to play this little part in your life is an honor. So, congrats, man! Proud of you.